Shadowed Battlegrounds presents The Viper's Tune, Rome Beckons, Part 1, Chapter 1, Transition of Shadows. The bustling sounds of Frenchman Street slowly faded into the background as Victor Petrovich slipped into the cool shadows of the alleyway behind DBA Jazz Club. The case with the Axeman had been grueling, and as the final notes of his trumpet reverberated in the air, he felt a strange mix of relief and foreboding. The Axeman was gone, but the city of New Orleans never truly slept, and neither did its shadows. Victor's phone buzzed, cutting through his thoughts. The name Pamela Fedora flashed on the screen. He sighed, answering the call. "Victor, we need to talk." Pamela's voice was urgent, laced with an edge of something he hadn't heard from her in a long time: fear. "What's wrong, Pamela?" Victor asked, already bracing himself for the next crisis. "It's Trayain. He's dead." Victor stopped in his tracks, the weight of her words sinking in. Trayain, the 400-year-old leader of the Vampiric High Council, was one of the most powerful vampires he knew. "How?" he managed to ask. "Vampire hunters in Romania," Pamela replied. "He was ambushed on his way to a council meeting. The council needs you to come to Rome immediately. Something big is happening." Victor pinched the bridge of his nose. The Axeman case had barely been resolved, and now this. "I'll go," he said reluctantly, "but I expect answers when I get there." "I'll see you in Rome," Pamela said before the line went dead. Victor closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. He needed to talk to Lila. The next evening, Victor met Lila Beaumont outside the Spotted Cat. The sun had just set, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets. Lila looked up from her phone, her eyes narrowing with concern as she saw his expression. "Victor, what's wrong?" she asked, slipping her phone into her pocket. "Trayain is dead," Victor said bluntly. "The council wants me to go to Rome. They need me to investigate." Lila's eyes widened. "Do you think it's related to the Axeman case?" "I don't know," Victor admitted, but I have a feeling this is much bigger. They wouldn't call me otherwise." Lila reached out, touching his arm gently. "Be careful, Victor, and keep in touch." "I will," he promised, giving her a brief but meaningful look before turning away. Victor arrived in Rome the following night, the ancient city a stark contrast to the vibrant chaos of New Orleans. He was met by a council member, Raffaele, who had always been friendly to Victor. "Victor, it's good to see you," Raffaele greeted him with a firm handshake. His eyes were serious, betraying the gravity of the situation. "We need your help. Trayain's death was not just a random act of violence. We believe another group of vampires orchestrated it." "Another group?" Victor asked, intrigued and disturbed. "Who?" "A faction led by Vaxxion," Raphael explained as they walked through the dimly lit halls of the council's headquarters. "He's a 350-year-old vampire from Russia, ambitious, powerful, and ruthless. We think he wants to take over the council." Victor nodded, absorbing the information. "So what do you need me to do?" "The council needs you to investigate. Find out if Vaxxion was behind Trayain's death and what his plans are. Pamela will be your assistant in this matter." Victor's eyes narrowed. Working with Pamela was going to be interesting. "I'll do it. But I want full access to all information and resources." "You'll have it," Raphael assured him. "This is too important for us to hold anything back." Pamela awaited him in the council's library, a grand room filled with ancient tomes and scrolls. She looked up as he entered, her expression unreadable. "Victor," she greeted him. Pamela, he replied curtly. Let's get to work. Pamela handed him a file. This contains everything we have on Vaxxion and his faction. It's not much, but it's a start. Victor took the file and began to read. Vaxxion was indeed formidable, with a network of loyal followers and significant influence in Eastern Europe. The more he read, the clearer it became that Vaxxion was not just a threat to the Council, but to all vampires who valued the balance of power. This is going to be dangerous, Pamela said quietly, breaking the silence. I know, Victor replied, but we don't have a choice. Pamela nodded. We'll start by tracking Vaxxion's movements. He's been seen in several locations across Europe recently. If we can find a pattern, it might lead us to his base of operations. Victor closed the file and looked at her. We need to be careful. Vaxxion won't hesitate to eliminate anyone who gets in his way. Pamela met his gaze. If you like this story and want to see more, click on the icon top left. If you want to help support our channel, please hit the subscribe button on the top left. If you have a good history idea, let us know in the comments. Thank you.